didn't change their registration. In early voting, we had 1,571 people who were permitted to vote a limited ballot. Only in early voting does the law permit someone who's moved to this county, was registered in another Texas county, they give up that registration, we register them right there because they're already registered in the state of Texas. But that program is only available during early voting. So we have a lot of disappointed people that are showing up at the polls. And that's a shame. Because as I said, we had 1,571 people take advantage of that. So the ones that are close enough, your Kendalls and Comal and Guadalupe, they're going back there to vote. They're absolutely going to drive. So all of that's in play, and everybody's doing the best job they can. It's great. Have we had some equipment hiccups? You bet. Anything that's computerized. But please understand, even when you hear, oh, they're down, whoa, they're down, all of our qualifying laptops, the person comes in and we sign them in. If they lose connectivity, they will still continue to work because the database is loaded on every one of those. They may have to hand print the label, but what it does is they go ahead and qualify that voter, give them the correct precinct and ballot style, take them over to the units, and the judges then will choose that instead of being able to print it on the top of that ballot. But everyone is still voting. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, but then once the connectivity is back on, or I don't know what you all say, like online again, it will take the names and all of that work product that happened while we were offline, and then it sucks it all back in. So we don't lose any voters. That's how our laptops work. But if they're disrupted, they hold them in, I think you all use the word a cache or something like that, and then when it gets connected again, it puts them right where they need. So I know some of you have been hearing that we've had computer problems. And yes, that sounds very unsettling. But please, please understand that we're not losing any voters' information.
How frequent does that happen?
Oh, I mean, we probably, out of our 300 sites, we probably had like 15 of them go down at times. And what we've noticed is, what we use is AT&T MiFis, and the signal goes in and out. I don't know if you've all noticed when you're driving around. And so if the signal goes out, that tells the laptop, shut down. And so then they're working a little bit slower, but then when the signal comes back up, it reconnects. So we don't have to intervene for that. It does do it automatically. But I know you're hearing when some of the voters get there, they're a little concerned because it's not what they're used to. It's not signing in, having the label automatically printed. Now there has to be human intervention, and they're writing the information on that label. So we're still getting the signatures. Every piece is exactly how we need it. But again, it's going to be some of the voters who are going to complain, and that's what we've been hearing. But again, you heard me say, our officials are fantastic.
What do you mean by dust ups?
Mm-hmm.
What do you
That's
mean
what
by dust ups?
that's what I mean. The computers are going in and out. Somebody will go outside and go, oh, the sky is falling, the equipment's down. So it takes us a minute to call and be in touch with them to say, what is it? Is it one of your express votes that's down, meaning the big pencils? Or is it your DS200? Or is it your laptop? So we have to qualify. But again, for the voters, they don't distinguish between that. They just walk outside and tell whoever's in line, oh, don't go in there because their equipment's down. So that's why we call them dust ups, Jim. Because we're able to work our way.
I'm sorry about that. Out of the 15 that went down, how many have come back online, or have they all come back online?
They all come back on. But then we'll look again and they'll have dropped off again. Again, that signal up there on this beautiful day is wavering in places.
You said that the dust ups were related to people having to stand in line.
Right.
Is that as a result of the glitches?
Yes, it backs it up. Because you can imagine if you're going like this and you hit the button and the label prints, it'll slap it down. If it doesn't, they have to take a plain label and put on that combination form, and then they have to hand write it. We need to track that voter, so we need the precinct number, their name, who it, and that's a human process. So they're not going to get it in 3 seconds. It may take 2 minutes. But something like that is going to back that line up.
Which polling location has been the busiest?
Our regular ones. Rocallo, Encino, Great Northwest. Sims is doing pretty well. UTSA is doing well. And who else is up there? Rocallo, Igo, and Cody. Those are our top sites. And then we still have some that are having a real quiet day. They've had 30 voters. They have, we have sites that are just really quiet. So what I'm seeing when I'm in constant contact with the judges is they'll send a message. It's like, hey, we don't have any voters. We don't have a line. Put the word out that anybody can come here. So we're notifying these sites all along. Like Oak Meadow. They keep telling us, please send us voters. Because there's a long wait at Chavano. So we contact Chavano. They're working the line. They say, hey, go vote at Oak Meadows, which is basically a mile away. And you can just walk right in. Some of the voters take advantage of that, but the majority are going to stay right there at Chavano. They're creatures of habit.
Is Oak Meadow an elementary school?
Pardon me?
Oak Meadow is an elementary school? Or?
Yes.
We've had issues throughout the early voting process with incidents at polling sites. Have we seen any today, and has there been any added security at the other polling locations?
Again, to use it, we've had a couple dust-ups with people wearing campaign t-shirts or hats, or the campaign workers getting inside the 100-foot distance markers. We have security right at our fingertips, and we'll call. They'll go out. We have some of the property owners who are reaching out to us because they're concerned that there's so many signs on their property outside the 100-foot mark. And what they're questioning, and believe me, I don't blame them, is so many of these signs, what do you call that plastic stuff? Or plastic, but the signs, they come on H-wire. We're not using those wooden stakes you have to pound in. And the campaigns aren't either. So when they go to these properties, they plant them in the ground, and they've gone right through their sprinkler systems. So they're reaching out to us. And we don't want to say it's a casualty war, but that's why they'll go out and talk to the campaign workers. You'll see the property owners, whether it's the school or a church, and then they reach out to us to say, what can we do? And it's like, we can't do anything. We are in control of the 100 feet from any outside door. That's our property. Anything that's at 101 feet, then that's up to the property owner.
Jackie, is the rule different at schools? One of the SBOE candidates said he was outside of the 100 feet at a school, and they still asked him to leave and not campaign.
That's up to them. And if the 100 feet, Tracy, gets them into a parking lot,
right?
Well, that's safety, and so they're going to push them back, or they're going to ask them to leave.
Okay.
And that's sort of standard. I hate to say that, but we have to. I mean, if you look at it over here at our 100-foot marks out in the middle of the street, and that happens quite often.
I counted about 70 people in line earlier when they were at the columns, and now they're almost to the end of the building. People are going to get
Isn't
off
that
work.
wonderful?
People are going to get off work. They're going to want to vote. They're going to, if they see a big crowd like this, how do they get connected with the places that have fewer voters?
Well, again, we send that we're connected to every site through our poll books, through those laptops. And so, like I said, if we hear there's a long line here, we'll get in touch with the surrounding 4, and every poll site has a map of the surrounding 4.
So you can just ask?
We can just ask, yeah. And then, this one doesn't have a line. This one hasn't had a line. But yeah, I mean, the voters are really savvy. They've figured out this vote center part, which is still the best thing we ever had, that our voters can vote at any site they want. That's what's important. They don't have to race back home when it gets to be 5 o'clock tonight to vote at their home precinct. They can vote at any one of our 302 sites. So that's really good for us and great for the voters. Okay, good job, guys. Say a prayer. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Thank you.
Thank you.